Hi guys, welcome back to Little Piece of Heaven Farm. And today we're going to do something kind of fun. It's a rustic pie. And it's back from France, is what I've been told. And this was an inspiration from Elliot Homestead. She does amazing old-time recipes and things of that nature. She also does canning and some preserving, and it's kind of old school, which I really like that. And this is called a Galette. It's from France, and it's very simple and easy to do, especially if you don't have pie pans. You can use a pan or like a cookie sheet that can go into the oven. So it's very simple, and what I'm going to tell you how to do it, I'm using all-purpose. You can use 1 part all-purpose, 1 part wheat flour, a whole grain. And how it is done mainly is by weight. And I know probably a lot of you don't have scales, so I'm doing it the old school. And it's going to be, I'm going to use 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And then I'm using up the rest of my whole my whole grain sugar cane that's not processed, that I got a while back, and I'm almost out. And you can use regular sugar to this recipe. And we're going to have ice cold water with ice cold butter, and we're going to mix it up with our hands, old school way. And I'll show you how to get everything done. I need to get a measuring cup, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're going to get our 1 cup measure. And using these old recipes, it's like, why did we ever get away from them? It's very simple to do, especially, you know, with some of you new people that are just, you know, starting out on your own, and you don't have a lot of knowledge or equipment. This is something simple and easy for you to do. So there's our 2 cups of flour, and you can double this if you like. This dish is also for sweet and savory. So you can use this dough to make like a roasted vegetable pie. You know, put some gravy and some roasted vegetables. Maybe even a little bit of meat in there. Kind of like a pot pie. You know, nothing over top of it, just open face like an old school. And that could be dinner. You have your bread, your meat, and your vegetables. But this one is going to be a sweet one. So, we got our 2 cups of flour, and we're going to go with 2 tablespoons of sugar, and we're going to mix that up a little bit. And we need some salt. Okay, we're going to do a nice pinch of salt. And we're going to mix that up a little bit. And 8 tablespoons of butter. And you can tell with the little lines on the back. It's 8 tablespoons, which equals a half a cup. So you can cut this up in little chunks if you like, but what I found, if you grate it, it's pretty easy. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to grate our butter. Now we'll bring you back when we have this done. Okay, there's our butter. Alright, so we're going to just get our hands in here and we're going to incorporate this butter in our flour mixture. Okay, get it all in there and just kind of break it up through your fingers, you know. Get it all incorporated in there. And this helps make some nice dough. Kind of flaky maybe. And this is the first time I've ever made this. And I've been wanting to share it with you. And I had some time. So I'm like, why not? Something rustic, you know? And, you know, it's beginning of harvest seasons and things like that with berries coming on. And you can use fresh berries with this. I'm going to use 2 of my jams. A chocolate strawberry that I did last year and a blueberry. And that's going to be for dessert tonight. Bear doesn't know. But hey, it's a surprise. Surprise! And I put some ice cubes in my water. And we're going to just do a little bit of water at a time, okay? And we're going to mix this up. And you're going to want it kind of like, almost like grainy sand. So we're going to keep adding water until we get the consistency that we want of our dough. Just, like I said, pour a little bit at a time. Don't put the whole quarter cup in, because if it's too wet, you can't take the water out. Okay. Okay. Our dough came out pretty nice. So, let me clean up this area a little bit so we have some working room, and I'll show you what's next. Okay, I'm going to dust my surface here a little bit on top of this parchment. And I'm going to work this dough with my hand a little bit. Into a circle. And then I'm going to take my rolling pin start rolling it out. I'm going to try to get this like 1/8 inch thick and try to keep it as round as possible, which my parchment is sliding around, making it a little too hard to work with. But it's pretty much pretty easy. Probably if I had a towel underneath it wouldn't slide. First one I'm going to use is our blueberry. Doesn't that look delish? And we're just going to smear it out. And you can use, like I said, fresh berries if you like, but add a little bit of flour to your berries. That way when they start cooking and bleeding in the oven, the flour will help thicken them up a little bit. There's the blueberries. And I'm going to open up this chocolate one. That smells good. There, I think that's enough right there. What do you guys say? Chocolate, strawberry, blueberry, galette. Awesome. Okay. For our next little trick on this pie, and I chose to cook mine in a cast iron pot or pan. And this is my, I think, number 8. So this is what we're going to put mine in. You can do it on a cookie sheet or in another type of pan that can go into the oven. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our parchment paper and we're going to fold over the edge. We're going to make a crust. Okay? And press down. to seal in our jam. And this is why it's called a rustic pie. You know, back in the days, they didn't have all these fancy pies, plates, and things that we have nowadays. You know, getting a little bit of the flour in there, it's not going to hurt it. Just going to thicken it up a little bit more. Crack right there a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, guys, there's my little rustic little pie. My first Galette little pie. Now let me get my pan. And I'm going to pick it up, put it down in there, and then fold over your parchment paper. And we're going to put an egg wash on this, and then we're going to sprinkle it with a little bit of sugar, of white sugar, to make it nice and sparkly. And then we're going to stick it in the fridge for 30 minutes. And then we're going to heat our oven to 375 and bake it for 50 minutes. Okay? So, let me get my egg in a little saucer. And we're going to put a little bit of water in here, a couple teaspoons. And we're going to beat up this egg. And we're going to brush it on. Okay. It's going to make it nice and golden. Okay. And now what we're going to do is going to take a little bit of sugar and we're going to just sprinkle that all around the edges. There you go. Okay guys, it's been 30 minutes since it's been resting in the fridge. Now I'm going to put it in the oven, and meantime, while it's been resting, I've preset my oven to 375. I'm going to pop that in and start cooking it or baking it for 50 minutes, and I'll bring you back when it's coming out of the oven. Okay guys, the timer went off, and I'm going to be bringing out the Galette. It smells amazing. Look at that, guys. Isn't that awesome? Nice and rustic. Homemade. Really cool. This is what's for dessert tonight. That is really great. I'm in love. But yeah, that is our dessert for tonight, for dinner. Farron's gonna be really surprised. So guys, if you make one of these, write down in the comments below how you like it. This one is sweet. Like I said, you can use the dough for a savory meal, like meat and veg, or just straight veg. You do you. Yeah. So anyway, guys, yeah, I want to thank you for hanging out with me for a quick little session here to make this galette, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Bye now.